In the heart of a vast savanna, there lived a mighty lion named Leo. He was the king of the jungle, feared and respected by all the animals. His roar could be heard for miles, and it struck fear into everyone who heard it. But despite his power, Leo's life wasn't as free as you might think. Leo had been captured when he was just a cub. Some hunters took him from the wild and brought him to a zoo. In the zoo, Leo was kept in a small cage with iron bars all around him. He spent his days pacing back and forth, dreaming of the wide-open plains he used to roam. As the years went by, Leo got used to the cage. It became the only life he knew. As Leo grew into a magnificent lion, the zookeepers decided to move him to a larger enclosure. This new space was much bigger and open, almost like the savanna where he once lived. The only thing separating Leo from the outside world was a small, invisible electric fence that ran along the edge. The fence gave a mild shock if touched, just enough to keep Leo from escaping. For the first few days, Leo explored his new home with caution. A couple of times he went near the fence and felt a slight shock. After that, Leo stopped trying to get close. He accepted the boundaries of his new home, just as he had accepted the bars of his old cage. One day, a wise old lioness named Zara was brought to the same enclosure. Zara had lived in the wild all her life and had only been captured recently after she got injured. As she healed, Zara noticed Leo, the once mighty king of the jungle, now living within invisible boundaries. Zara approached Leo and asked, "Why do you stay so close to the center of the enclosure? Don't you want to explore the plains beyond?" Leo sighed and said, "I've tried to go beyond the fence, but every time I touch it, hurts. Safer to stay here." Zara looked at Leo with pity and said, "But don't you see? The shock is only for a moment, and the fence is weak. You're strong enough to break through it if you really want to. The real cage is in your mind." Leo was surprised by her words. Could it be true? Had he been held back all these years not by the fence, but by his own fear? Zara's words echoed in his mind, and that night, Leo couldn't sleep. He paced back and forth, remembering the vast savanna, feel of the wind in his mane, and the thrill of the hunt. The urge to break free began to grow inside him again. The next morning, as the first light of dawn appeared, Leo made a decision. He would test the fence again, but this time he would give it everything he had. Taking a deep breath, Leo charged toward the edge of the enclosure. As he hit the fence, he felt the shock, but he didn't stop. He pushed forward with all his strength, roaring as he broke through the barrier. Suddenly, Leo was free. He stood on the other side of the fence, breathing in the fresh air of the open plains. The world was his again. He turned back to see Zara watching him with a proud smile. "You see?" he said. "Cage was never real. It was only in your mind." Leo's story reminds us that the limits we often face in life are more in our minds than in reality. Just like Leo was held back by his belief in the fence, we are often held back by our own fears and doubts. The truth is, we have the power to break free from whatever is holding us back. The first step is to believe that we can. As you think about Leo's journey, consider the invisible fences in your own life. What fears or doubts are holding you back? Remember, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is your belief in yourself. Break through your barriers, and the world will open up to you, just as it did for Leo.